Darth Malgus. Unlike most Sith Lords, who sought power for personal gain, Malgus wanted something far more dangerous. He wanted the Sith Empire to be worthy of its name. He looked at the Dark Council, the Emperor, the endless infighting, and he saw weakness. He saw an empire that conquered worlds but could not govern them. He saw Sith Lords who cared more about their own power than the Empire's glory. And in the end, he decided that the only way to save the Sith Empire was to destroy it and rebuild it in his image. But what if he had succeeded? Welcome to the timeline where Darth Malgus rebuilt the Sith Empire into an unstoppable war machine. Darth Malgus was born on Dromund Kaas, the capital of the Sith Empire. He was trained from childhood in the dark side, but unlike his peers, he never lost sight of the bigger picture. To Malgus, the Force was not a tool for personal advancement. It was the binding energy of an empire that should span the galaxy. He looked at the Republic and saw not an enemy to be destroyed, but a civilization to be surpassed. He looked at the Jedi and saw not heretics to be killed, but warriors to be broken and remade. Malgus believed that the Sith Empire had become corrupt, bloated, and weak, and he was determined to fix it, even if it meant killing every other Sith Lord in the process. In the original timeline, Darth Malgus led the assault on the Jedi Temple during the sacking of Coruscant. It was his greatest victory and his greatest disillusionment. He watched as the Dark Council used the war not to destroy the Republic, but to gain political leverage. He watched as the Emperor sacrificed thousands of Sith lives for a petty treaty, and he realized that the Sith Empire he served was not an empire at all. It was a collection of petty tyrants playing at war. Malgus turned against the Empire, forging his own path. He was defeated, his rebellion crushed by the very system he sought to reform. But what if he had won? What if his vision of a pure Sith Empire had become reality? In this timeline, Malgus does not underestimate the Dark Council. He prepares for years, building a secret army of loyalists, alien warriors, and disillusioned Sith who share his vision. When he strikes not at the Republic, but at the Empire itself. The Dark Council is slaughtered in a single night. The Emperor is trapped in his own fortress, his power useless against Malgus's coordinated assault. And when the dust settles, Darth Malgus stands alone, as the supreme ruler of the Sith Empire, not as a tyrant, but as a reformer. He does not want to rule. He wants to rebuild, and the galaxy will never be the same. Under Malgus's rule, the Sith Empire transforms. The infighting of the Dark Council is replaced by a meritocracy of combat and strategy. Sith Lords are judged not by their political connections, but by their ability to conquer and govern. The alien species that the Empire once treated as slaves are granted full citizenship, if they prove themselves in battle. Malgus's new empire is not built on cruelty, but on excellence. Weakness is not punished. It is simply not rewarded. And slowly, the Sith Empire becomes what it was always meant to be. A civilization of warriors, sorcerers, and strategists united by a single purpose: the total domination of the galaxy. The Republic, already weakened by the Great Galactic War and the Cold War, cannot withstand a unified Sith Empire. Malgus does not waste time with politics or treaties. He strikes at the Republic's infrastructure, its economy, its will to fight. Key worlds fall within months. The Jedi, scattered and leaderless, cannot organize an effective defense. And when Coruscant is besieged for the second time, there is no treaty to save it. Malgus does not sack Coruscant. He occupies it. The Senate is dissolved. The Jedi Temple becomes a Sith Academy, and the Republic, which had stood for 1,000 generations, ceases to exist. Malgus does not hunt the Jedi to extinction. He hunts them to submission. Captured Jedi are given a choice: serve the new empire or die. Many choose death, martyring themselves in futile resistance. But some, the pragmatic, the disillusioned, the survivors, choose to adapt. Malgus creates a new order of Force users, the Imperial Knights. They are not Sith. They are not Jedi. They are soldiers of the Empire, bound by duty and honor, rather than the light side or the dark. They wear white armor instead of robes. They serve the Empire, rather than the Force. And they become the most feared warriors in the galaxy, because they have the discipline of the Jedi and the ruthlessness of the Sith. A century after Malgus's revolution, the Sith Empire spans the known galaxy. It is not a tyranny, but it is not a democracy either. It is a military meritocracy, where power is earned through service and strength. Technology has advanced rapidly under Sith direction, not through alchemy, but through scientific inquiry freed from Republic bureaucracy. Art and culture flourish, but always with a martial theme. The Imperial Knights maintain order, hunting down the last Jedi remnants and Sith dissidents alike. And Malgus, kept alive by Sith alchemy and sheer will, rules from a throne of war, not as a god, but as a soldier who never stopped fighting. But Malgus's empire comes with a terrible cost. The freedom that the Republic offered, however flawed, is gone. Every citizen serves the Empire from birth to death. Dissent is not punished. It is simply impossible, because every child is raised to believe that the Empire is the only possible way. The Jedi are extinct, not because they were killed, but because no one remembers what they stood for. The Force itself has become a tool of the state, studied and wielded only by the Imperial Knights and the Sith elite. And Malgus, who sought to create a perfect empire, has created a perfect prison, a galaxy where no one suffers, because no one is allowed to want anything the Empire does not provide. Darth Malgus represents the terrifying possibility that the Sith could have been right. His empire is stable, powerful, and prosperous. Everything the Republic was not. But it is also empty. Without freedom, without choice, without the constant struggle between light and dark, the galaxy has become a machine. Efficient, orderly, dead. Malgus 1. He created the empire of his dreams, and in doing so, he proved that the greatest victory is sometimes the greatest tragedy. Thank the Force that in our timeline, he failed. This has been SWTOR Studio. Subscribe for more dark timelines from the Old Republic era.